afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to our 45th Annual General Meeting. Thank you so much for coming. It's a really important part of our business as a registered charity that we do this. So we really appreciate your time and coming along and helping us getting through some very important business. So, where's my clicker? There we go. So, the first item on the agenda is the review and hopeful acceptance of the minutes of the 44th AGM, which, if you remember last year, we had a fabulous time in the Arena and Convention Centre at Liverpool on the 11th of December 2024. So, what I am looking for, many of you know the drill with this, and I can't see you, but I've got my lovely helpers who are going to help me. Could I please, I should have said, all the papers were on our website and were sent to all members in November. So I know you immediately downloaded them, scrutinised them very carefully, read them thoroughly, and you're all ready to review them. So with that, we're just going to skip right along. So, minutes. Who would like to be the proposer and have their name indelibly in our records for being the proposer of the minutes of the 44th AGM? I can't see a thing. Laura. Thank you. Thanks, Laura. And could I have a seconder, please?
Adam.
They're competing down there. Thank you both. That's really great. And now we have to vote, and we're doing it a different way this year. So let me see if I can do this. So, would you all now get your phones out? You all know this and love it. And if for those of you who are at the National Environment Monitoring Conference, it's not Mentimeter. We are fallen out of love with Mentimeter. This is Slido. So there's the QR code. When I see the phones all drop down, not there yet. I think that's most, a couple phones still going up. Okay, so, marvellous, we have, and there's a little counter in the top, so when that slows down, I'm going to click us on to see whether we got an acceptance, yes or no. So, we seem to, oh no, we're still climbing. I'm aiming for 100, because I think there's about 100 of you out there. We're getting there. Who's still got their phone peering at it in a... Ooh, I think we might have... Ooh, 86. Is that all I can get? 88, 89. Oh, you're getting there. Bless you. Keep going. Oh, I think we're at 92. All right. Many thanks, everyone. And the grand answer is... Thank you. Fantastic. What a job you've done. So 100% acceptance rate. Thank you so much. And we had, we got 100. And someone's going to do 101 just to go. Anyway, there we go. Thank you so much for that. And it's with great pleasure that I'm going to hand over to Hazel now to tell us something about the international work that we've been doing. Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you very much. So for those of you who like to come to the AGM, make it a regular part of your annual meeting, you know that over the last few years what we've tried to do is provide a little light interlude and tell you a little bit about some of the things that we're working on as an organisation. And I'm going to give you a kind of quick overview of the BES's work on international policy, where we are at the moment and what we're thinking about. So I think there's a shift in the ecological community to having a greater influence, a desire to have a greater influence on what's happening at the international level in policy, particularly around biodiversity. We've got the BES 12th plenary coming to Manchester in February, and we've also got the CBD biodiversity COP coming to almost Europe in Armenia in November next year too. So those provide opportunities for us to think about how we as a global community step into this space. What we've been doing over the last 12 months or so is mapping out what those opportunities are, where the interest is, who we can work with, building relationships, partners with government, etc. There's no point in us replicating what others do really well. What we want to do is make sure that we add value, but also that we make sure that the voice of the ecological community is heard strongly and has influence. What we've done towards the end of this year is trying to demystify the complex BES COP process. So those of you who read your niche regularly will know that we recently published a piece just kind of explaining what this all looks like and how all these different international bodies work with each other to try and provide an oversight over the opportunities for ecologists to get involved and to influence. In 26/27, we'll be going to develop our international profile. We'll be attending the BES meeting. I've got a big delegation of staff and trustees going up to the stakeholder day to get a better understanding of how we can play into this space. And we'll be also having an opportunity to send some staff over to the COP, Biodiversity COP meeting. And we're also trying to bridge that gap between academia, business and policy-making audiences by looking at some of the BES reports, such as the transformation report, and trying to make sure that they have the impact that we all hope they should have. They're absolutely fantastic, amazing documents and reports, but I think all people who are involved in it are a little bit disappointed still that it's not having that transformative change that we all hoped. So how can the BES play into this space and make that happen? Or at least work with others to help it happen? I don't have to tell you how difficult things are at the moment with biodiversity loss and climate change. It's about recognising those underlying causes of the socio-economic polycrisis and thinking globally and working internationally. So up here, you'll see our vision for the international programme. We're really excited by it. We want to make sure that those people, those decision makers, look to the ecological community, recognise the importance of ecological science, and seek us out so that we can be influential. That just gives you a quick overview. I haven't got a lot of time to go into it, I'm sorry, but if you are interested in getting involved in this stream of work at the BES, please drop me an email or drop the policy team an email. We'd love to hear from you. The more expertise that we can gather and the greater understanding will provide even more opportunities for us to get involved. So, thank you very much. And I'm now going to hand over to Marcus, who's going to do a lovely little turn for you on the accounts.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Are we on? And now, it's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the statement of the financial accounts of the British Ecological Society. And I know that many of you have been counting down the days to this most festive of occasions, but you can't pretend that what I'm giving you here is a surprise, because we filed our accounts with Companies House and with the Charity Commission and also posted them on the website of the British Ecological Society back at the beginning of August. So you've all had 4 months to peek under the wrapping, to see the accounts and to send any inquiries, which I have not been inundated with. So I'm assuming you've all seen them, and therefore we can proceed directly to the important bit, which is to ask you all to vote to accept the accounts. While you're doing so, I will say that these accounts have been checked by our auditors, Hayes McIntyre. They approved the accounts with no control points. In other words, they tried really, really hard and found absolutely nothing wrong. And that is an enormous credit to Hazel, as she's looking at me like she needs to say something. Oh, damn it, we did a proposer and seconder. Yeah, go for it. Keith and Fran. They checked the accounts, there was nothing wrong, so I have to give our enormous thanks and gratitude to Hazel Normans, the Chief Executive, and to the many staff in the BES who contribute to those accounts and who give us full assurance that our money is in extremely safe hands. We are ticking up. We're all going to be competing for who can get the most votes here, so I would like you to help me to beat Bridget. And in a second, once we move through, I'll give you an overview of the accounts and the financial situation that we're in. Oh, we seem to be stuck. Right, just to remind you, we are reviewing the accounts for the calendar year 2024, which seems a very long time ago. Just to remind you, 2024 was the year when we believed that all the world's problems would be fixed with a couple of good elections. Sadly, it didn't quite play out that way, but for the BES, it was actually an extremely good year. The BES had its highest ever turnover. It wasn't quite our most profitable year. There was one outlier a few years ago, but in terms of normal income, we raised the most money we ever have, and then we spent the most money we ever have. Most of the engine of the BES is our publishing. 80% of our income is from publishing. That's what funds everything else that we do. $500,000 into our grants, $500,000 into our policy, that's a growing part, $350,000 into education. All that is financed by our journals, and our membership and our meetings are subsidised by the journals as well. Now, seeing this balanced budget is actually quite a change from the way the BES operated over many years. What you're looking at here is a long-term trend in the BES's finances. On the left is our growing expenditure, which, as you can see, is the highest ever, and on the right is our earnings. We had a weird year when we sold a building, but otherwise both have been going up. And up until I became treasurer, these lines were all positive and in the blue, and we were making loads of money. And we put all that money into a large investment fund to secure the long-term future of the British Ecological Society. And you can see that since then we've been running a more or less balanced budget with the buffer of that large investment fund behind us. That, as of last week, just about tipped to the 10 million sterling mark. So it gives us dividend returns and also allows us to be more risky in the way that we do our business and to explore new opportunities with security. We invest through two major investment houses through an environmentally screened process. What you're looking at here is the performance of our investments in the red line, and you can see it closely tracks the green line, which is the expectation for things in our kind of portfolio frame, about 85% equities. The top line is if we invested in everything and took all the risks, and we obviously haven't done that. So we have maintained a reasonable performance, and the money is doing extremely well. There is one final thing. I have to move on to the grand finale now and leave you with the exciting part, which we need to vote for you to agree to allow the board to appoint the auditors and assess the remuneration of the auditors. Can I have, for this important point, a proposer, please? Who's in? Ruth Mitchell. And a seconder. Who are you two? Ian Thornhill, thank you. Your names will be memorialised in the annals of the BES forever. Vote away. Basically, this is a vote to say that you're letting us make the decision. So we have to do this. I'd say we're doing pretty well there. That's good. Shall we see? Hooray! We have full support. And there I will finish and hand over to my esteemed colleague Rob Brooker, the General Secretary of the Society.
Thanks, Marcus. I think I move on. So I press this button, see what happens. Oh, look at that. There we go, great. So I'm going to tell you what we do with the money. Marcus tells you where the money's come from. I say Marcus Eichhorn, the man who's done for financial reporting what Columbus did for the steam engine. His new album, Negative Stumpage Value, will be available in the foyer later. So for those of you, I'm going to tell you this, for those of you that wish you were outside, this is a picture of Loch Horn from the sides of Ben Skrill with Knoydart in the background. So you can focus your eyes on that and just let it all drift over you. I want to thank, I'm going to give you an update on what the various teams of the Society have been doing. I want to thank Karen, Andrea, Joanna and Benjamin for the information that they always provide to me at a very busy time of year. The full set of notes, I'm going to give you a few highlights, but the full set of notes of everything that's going on will be in the minutes for this meeting. And apologies to them for butchering all the information that they gave me. But it's great to be able to stand up here and tell you about some of the brilliant things that we've been able to do this year. So if we start with communities inclusion, the membership now is 8,193. It was at the time that this document was written, which is really great. And we've launched a new members category, the BES Fellows, and that membership grade recognises their leadership and lifelong contributions to both the science and teaching of ecology. So it's fantastic that we can celebrate that. And there'll be more news about our new set of fellows that will be released in the new year. In terms of the community groups, our special interest groups, networks, policy and teaching groups are increasingly active. They've hosted 38 events in 2025 and reached over 1,480 delegates, which is fantastic. And we've got 3 new special interest groups, a new ecological and environmental engineering group, and a reactivated soil ecology group and community science group. If we go on to inclusive volunteering, we are proud to be an international and diverse community, and we're working to increase that through understanding what our volunteers need of us. Volunteer surveys have been done this year to better understand the experience of people volunteering for the Society. 93% of respondents would recommend the BES as a place to volunteer, and 90% feel their role provides real value and makes a difference. That's fantastic, because we are very dependent upon the input that we get from our volunteers each year. If you're interested in volunteering for the Society, do please come and talk to people at the Hive in particular, which is the area where our networks and our volunteers are gathering. Please speak to Charlie about the opportunities of volunteering for the Society. And please do think about that very seriously. We need people to engage right across the career spectrum from all different parts of the globe to make this a really representative and truly sort of volunteer-driven society. So please think about that. In terms of research equity, we supported and funded an intense 2-week residential course for 24 early career ecologists across 13 African countries, focusing on designing research projects in the field. And one quote from an attendee is that from the very beginning, the course has been an amazing experience. It was structured to maximise learning, connections and networking. And I feel like I learned every second of my time here. So that's a real testament to the people that were involved in putting that together and the work that the funding that you all provide does. In terms of grants, we had 53% of funding awarded this year to support Global South ecologists, and that reflects the direction of travel for the Society. With respect to education, we successfully planned and delivered 4 in-person teacher training events supported by freely accessible online resources on the BES website. So it's great to see that impact both internationally and working with the education sector. Our careers programme consisted of 3 key projects this year, working closely with partners from across the ecological community to inspire and support aspiring ecologists. Through these collaborative efforts, we've engaged with more than 650 students, parents, teachers and career advisors. So again, a high level of impact, supported by everything that you do to support the Society. Our 2025 symposium, Nature, Food and Farming, was hosted in collaboration with Table, the Leverhulme Centre for Nature Recovery and the Agile Initiative, and was held in Oxford back in June 2025. And I went to that. It was excellent, very warm, but it was excellent, very pleasant to be in Oxford in the sunshine. And the event brought together 200 academics, campaigners and policymakers. And it was great to see the coordination and also the agreement that was needed in terms of how farming systems need to move towards sustainability moving forward. If I talk now a bit about the work of the policy and communications team. So this is very nicely set out through the year, which is great. So in the spring, they were looking at regenerative agriculture and ecological perspective, which was a report published and launched with a webinar chaired by Tom Heap. And the past president, Yadvinder Mali, and BES board member Carolyn Howe were featured in the ENDS report power list for 2025. So it's a testament to the level of people that are engaging with the society. In the summer, the team launched a new fortnightly newsletter that has secured a sector-beating open rate of over 40% ever since. Thanks to all of you here who've enjoyed reading and commenting on it. And thanks to everybody that's contributing to the work that goes into it, and it's lovely to get those updates. The BES's land use framework consultation response was praised by Government Insider for its brevity and clarity. We also completed a review of BES policy strategy during the summer to maximise our impact. Going on to the autumn, a new accessible brand and communications guidelines were created for our community groups, and those of you that are engaged with the groups will have seen that, and it's great to have that consistency and support. And the Scottish Policy Group held their annual round table down the road in Stirling on the topic of creating a resilient future for farming. So it leads really well through from the Summer Symposium event. It was a sold-out event, and the output will be converted into a set of manifesto asks as we move into the Scottish Government elections in the spring next year. And finally, coming up to the winter, our joint report with the National Trust aligning environmental agendas for nature recovery was published in time for COP. And in terms of further international level impact, we're continuing on that international theme. The BES has secured BES observer status for the Manchester plenary in February next year. So again, the society is having a really important international role. The Capturing Ecology photo competition in partnership with the Soil Association, ZSL and Plant Life, and sponsored by NHBS, got 80% more entries last year, and the standard is significantly higher. Please make sure you vote for the Ecologist Choice Award in the Cromdale Hall this week. So there's an opportunity there to go and see a lot of those fabulous images that then turn up through the BES publications. So moving on to publications, team, the activities there, I mean, you all know it's a mad time in the scientific publications world. There's so much going on, so major challenges for that team. And what they deliver every year is incredible within that context. It's just hard work. So examples of some of the things that's been happening. Functional Ecology has completed its first year as a fully gold open access journal, and pleasingly we've seen both the number of submissions and the number of published articles growing significantly. But there's a recognition that not everybody can find sources of funding to pay the processing charge, so there is a BES waiver policy for open access. And if you're in any doubt about whether or not that is available to you, please go to the BES stand and talk to one of the publishing staff about how it all works. So do go and find out about that. Submissions and published articles are also increasing across the rest of the BES portfolio. And so the Society's recruited more editors and additional editorial office staff to deal with the increased workload. A big thanks at this point to all involved in getting the journals published. So that's those of you that work in formal roles like associate editors, and also those of you that do the reviewing. And I know that for academic journals now, it's harder and harder to get people to review. So please try and support the journals by doing reviews for the BES journals whenever you can. If you're thinking of submitting your work to one of our journals, but you're not sure which one, you can find editors from all our journals in tomorrow's speed review, which takes place in the poster session from 5 o'clock through to 6:30 on platform 5. This is in the venue, so go and have a look for that, find out more about which journal might be right for you. And there's also the 4th open call for associate editors, which is happening now. In partnership with our publisher Wiley, the BES is now offering a dedicated annual fund of £25,000 that is intended to support ecology researchers, practitioners and students from underrepresented regions and communities worldwide. This equity fund is provides support for activities that close skills gap and drive capacity, increase networks and widen visibility for researchers and their work. An example of the sort of event that it's funded already, it supported workshops on co-design and how to get published during the Congress of the Grassland Society of Southern Africa in KwaZulu-Natal. Applications for 2026 projects can be submitted via the BES website from the start of next year, so a fantastic opportunity to tap into that funding source. I'm nearly there. I hope you're enjoying the picture. Just sort of, just imagine the waves crashing against the beach there and the gentle buzz of the midges. Sustainability. Throughout 2025, we collected data on a wide range of activities for the first BES Biodiversity Impact Assessment, and we recently received a detailed report from the consultant There's a wealth of information to digest, and we're beginning to formulate what meaningful action might be taken off the back of this, but it's a key part of our activity moving forward, and it's great that we now have those data. So finally, just to sum up on people and operations, under recruitment, those of you that obviously remembered all the detail of last year's report, you realised it was a year of significant staff turnover for the BES, but things have stabilised and we're back down to what I would think of as sort of fairly normal levels of staff turnover now. But applicant numbers have risen greatly, roughly around 130% increase in applications over the past few years. So that's generating an increase in workload for the HR team. In part, we think that's due to updated recruitment materials, 4-day working week as part of the Society's terms and conditions, and general staff investment, which is pulling in a high number of well-suited applicants. But that level of submission is difficult, and we're working on how to speed up the processes to reduce the burden of that level of submission to BES posts. In terms of supporting BES staff more widely, we've changed our employee assistant program to Bupa EAP, and the service now covers partners and children over the age of 16. And we're continuing with the BES Wellbeing program that's been in place since 2022, and this has been designed as an inclusive and enjoyable as possible for employees, so with feedback from employees, and it provides opportunities, for example, to socialise with co-workers, take a break from the desk, try or learn something new, and rest, reflect, and have a quiet moment. And finally, just a couple of other things that Personnel Committee have been working on. We've had a range of, we have oversight of a lot of the other activities, but we've also been reviewing staff pay and working towards new committee recruitment. And if some of the people that have applied are in this room, thank you very much for applying, really appreciate it. We're on ongoing discussions about the possibility of space sharing with other organisations at the London office, in part to make best use of the available space and help generate alternative income. So just to wrap up, again, thank you very much for all that you do for the Society. Thanks to all the staff for all the excellent work that they've done over the last year to have this huge amount of impact. I will use this opportunity to say, if you're interested in the Emerging Leaders and Managers Network, please come and see myself, Thorin Helgeson or Penn Holland about that, because we really want to hear from you. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the picture. And now to wrap up, I will hand back, I think, to Bridget.
What a great set of activities, outcomes, outputs, all that stuff, but just marvellous. Great thanks to everyone's hard work for that. So now we are on to the election to our Board of Trustees. Voting, all members were emailed with the opportunity to vote. It closed on the 8th of December. Very pleased that over 1,000 people voted. So again, thank you for taking the time to read that and vote on it. And I have 6 separate votes to report to you the outcome. So the first is for our fabulous Vice President, Tim Coulson, who's already done 3 years, and he was up for re-election as our Vice President. And I'm pleased to say that that was passed by our members. So congratulations to Tim. Our Honorary Treasurer, Marcus Acorn, who you've just seen, he's already done 3 years, willing to do another 3 years. So he was up for re-election as our Honorary Treasurer. And again, he was successfully elected. Oh, he looks so relieved. You nearly escaped there, mate. Not quite. So well done, Marcus. Thank you, everyone, for voting. So, Chair of the Education Committee. This was a new appointment, not a re-election. And our members were asked to approve Penn Holland as our elected Chair of the Education Committee. And congratulations to Penn. That was approved. So, great job. Right. Chair of the BES Policy Committee, very sad to be losing Rick Stafford, who's done a sterling job over 6 years for us. Sadly, we'll be missing you, Rick, but we're thrilled that we've got Christian Dunn of Bangor University, who was elected into the chair of the Policy Committee. So again, congratulations to Christian. Sad to be losing you, Rick, and thank you to everyone for voting. Chair of the BES Publication Committee, do you approve of Rob Freckleton being re-elected? So this is another person willing to do is another 3 years. So thanks to Rob for being willing to put himself up for re-election. And I'm very pleased to say that Rob was re-elected as chair of the BES Publications Committee. So thank you to everyone for voting there. And I'm on to the final one now. We have an ordinary trustee, which really doesn't, it's a bit of a horrible name, isn't it? Representing ecologists in higher education and research institutes. So very huge thanks to Thorin Helgeson, who has been our rep for 6 years. She's stepping down. Very sorry to be losing you, but very pleased to announce that Cecilia Medupin was elected. So is she in the room? She isn't. Anyway, many congratulations to Cecilia, who will now join the Board of Trustees as our ordinary trustee, representing ecologists in higher education and research institutes. Huge congratulations to everyone, and thank you for all your votes. Thank you. Right, well, very unusually, everyone has the right to raise an AOB, and we really encourage you to do this before the meeting so we can help prepare. And we've got one this year. So, it's been raised by someone, unfortunately, who can't be here today. His name is Dr. Stephen Cousins. He's a visiting professor at Cranfield University in the UK. So I'm going to read out, we haven't put it on, it's a bit long, so bear with me while I read out what his AOB is. Ecology's third act, science and action at aged over 60. The BES has several schemes targeted at specific stages of an ecologist's career, early stage initiatives and recently mid to late stage schemes for management skills and for personal recognition, the ELM and the new fellowship scheme. But let us consider if there is a later third stage, ecology's third act, that could harness ecological experience that might otherwise go to waste. The third act is the stage where the demands of administration, teaching and management are set aside. Doesn't that sound fabulous? And ecologists are free to work on novel research or applications of research that they always wished they had time to undertake. This is perhaps especially relevant today when economic pressures are so relentless at universities, environmental organisations and government agencies. There is too little time to stand back and really think about the important issues we face as ecologists. I suggest, this is Dr. Stephen Cousins, suggests that ecology's third act begins at 60. Let's not forget David Attenborough is still productive at 99, nearly 40 years after the age 60 threshold proposed here. So, at 60, we may be, his words not mine, too old to boogie, but we're also too young to die. So, he's asking for your support to explore the opportunity further at the BES for the third act for ecologists over 60. So, thank you so much to Stephen for putting that thought in. We have got a few other thoughts, few thoughts in response to Stephen, which I'm going to go now. So the first is, we do not have an age limit on our grants, and actually they're open to all ages, and we do monitor the equity of our grant applications and success rates. And while the number of applicants aged 60 plus is lower, their success rate is consistently higher. They're quite good, these people, at writing grant proposals, especially for the small research grants. So I think there we can say there are opportunities there, and we really encourage people 60 plus over to keep going, because you're doing quite well getting the money. Anyway, our fellows, our new fellows that you just heard from Rob, is open to any senior ecologist, including retired members. It's a new scheme for 2025, and we're taking our first batch of fellows out this evening to ask them, what can we do more for our senior ecologists? So we're really hoping to sweat them a bit and say, come on, what can we do? What would you like to do for us, and what can we do for you? So I think that'll be really helpful, and each year we'll get a new batch of fellows coming through. But finally, an open invitation to Stephen or anybody else. Our community groups include networks, and we welcome anyone who wishes to found a senior ecologist network to get in touch with us. At our community, all our community groups are led by our communities and are supported to develop the projects and ideas that supports the needs of their communities. We offer staff support and guidance along with funding to convene the communities. The person to talk to is our wonderful Karen Devine, who is standing up there. If you think, I think this is right, we really need to do something, and I'm willing to perhaps lead or find some other people to create or to at least propose, it's not in my gift to say it'll happen, it goes to a panel who sort of say, yes, we can see the purpose of this for senior ecologists. So that's an open invitation to anyone to set up that group and help support and come to us with ideas and form ideas that you can bring to the board. So we are keen to listen to all views, and if there are ideas and suggestions, please do come and find us. Anybody on the stage here? A lot of trustees are looking down here somewhere. So come and talk to them, or come and talk to myself, or go to the BES Hive and talk to people there. So I'm not going to ask for a vote or anything. I just want to put that out there. We really welcome ideas like this, and a huge thanks to Stephen for coming up with the thought that we should be thinking about how we can better support our senior ecologists who have apparently some more free time and what they can do for us and we can do for them. So please do, if you have suggestions, please do come and talk to us, or if you'd like to get involved again, come and talk to Karen. And with that, I think I'm looking to Hazel now, but I think I can just close the AGM. And a huge thank you to all of you for coming and joining us and voting and doing the Slido, which fortunately works, so that's great. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.